Breaking news now. The fate of Prigozhin has not been revealed, and this portends further trouble in Russia. Yevgeny Prigozhin, a former friend of Russian President Vladimir Putin turned mutinous, has an increasingly bizarre backstory. On June 23, a mutiny was launched against Putin's top military brass by the foul-mouthed former head of the Wagner private military company, who also ran a troll farm, a multi-million-dollar catering company, and a media group. A deal, brokered by Putin's pal, some would call him Putin's vassal, Belarusian strongman Alexander Lukashenko, put down the rebellion. For this reason, Prigozhin had to relocate from Russia to Belarus. Following Prigozhin to Belarus, joining the regular Russian military, or giving up the fight and going home were the three options available to his men. Lukashenko said Prigozhin had arrived in Belarus after the mutiny ended. However, no one was able to verify that for weeks. On Thursday, however, Lukashenko changed his tune, telling CNN that Prigozhin was in St. Petersburg and could be headed to Moscow or elsewhere. He concluded that Prigozhin wasn't where he should have been. Neither the Wagner fighters nor their leader were found in the camps that Lukashenko's government had apparently prepared for them in Belarus. Russian state television began airing footage of a raid on Prigozhin's St. Petersburg home and office right on cue. The Russian propaganda website RT claimed that Wagner's mansion, or palace, included a pool, a private operating room, and a dedicated prayer room, as well as a few sledgehammers, which Wagner is suspected of using to murder defectors. Agents reportedly uncovered Prigozhin's lair and discovered 10 million rubles in cash, roughly $110,000, gold, firearms, and wigs. Some of his money and belongings were reportedly returned to him a few hours later. It furthers the mystery of why Putin has, up to this point, allowed Prigozhin to remain free despite his continued violation of the Lukashenko agreement. Prigozhin's popularity on social media used to be through the roof. He was a braggart in disguise whose troops were victorious in battles against the regular Russian military in Ukraine. He cursed at military leaders and other high-ranking government officials, but he crossed a line when he accused them of enriching themselves at Putin's expense by convincing him to invade Ukraine despite the lack of an actual threat. After Prigozhin led his troops on a march toward Moscow, they captured the city of Rostov-on-Don, shot down Russian aircraft, and killed several Russian servicemen, angering Putin, who accused Prigozhin of stabbing Russia in the back. It's common knowledge that Putin despises traitors, but Lukashenko reassured reporters that Putin isn't malicious and vindictive enough to have Prigozhin wiped out, by using a gangster-like Russian word that Putin famously used about Chechen terrorists. Putin admitted that the government had paid Prigozhin billions of dollars several days ago, adding that he hoped no one stole anything, but that the Kremlin would deal with the situation. The ultimate fate of Prigozhin remains unknown, but he is just one of Putin's many headaches. What he does with Prigozhin's profitable businesses is a different matter. The Kremlin appears to be breaking up his empire at the moment, handing over the reins to more reliable hands at the most profitable companies. Will he eventually go to jail? A coffin, perhaps? Putin will have to settle this. Razborka, a word Russian mobsters use to describe their internal squabbles, is the only thing that seems even remotely clear. More suppression, more settling scores, and more behind-the-scenes conflict in Putin's Russia are all likely outcomes.